Hey, Algebra 2 peeps! This is Mr. Longo here to talk to you about the properties of logs, and this video is going to focus on expanding. So we have three different properties you need to know. You have the product property, which means if we're taking the log base b of u times v, we could split that to log base b of u plus log base b of v. The quotient property is very similar, except for if it's u divided by v this time, it would be log base b of u minus log base b of v. Finally, the power property. If we have u raised to the v power, what you're going to do is actually move v to the front and multiply it. So it's v times the log base b of u. Now those should all sound pretty familiar to you, because we already talked about this. We just did it with exponents. A to the m times a to the n was equal to a to the m plus n. So we already talked about a product property when you're multiplying. Okay, so very similar. Multiplication is addition of the exponents. Now we're just going to do the base of the logs. For division, we had a to the m over a to the n, and that was equal to a to the m minus n. And finally, we had a to the m raised to the n power, and that become a to the m times n. So all of those properties come from exponents. So what we're going to do is expand. So we're going to take what we got, and we're going to expand them into multiple parts. So we have our log base 2. And what you kind of want to do is look at how many terms you have. We have two terms. We have a 3 and we have an x. So we're just going to have log base 2 of 3. Since it's multiplication, it's plus log base 2 of x. Okay? So this row is just going to do the simple basics. Then we're going to make them, of course, a little bit more challenging. Log base 3 of x squared. So this is the power property. So we're going to turn that into 2 times log base 3 of x. And finally, the last one is the quotient property. We're dividing 2 divided by x. So we have log of 2 minus log of x. Okay? So again, similar to the exponent properties you guys learned before, now we're just tweaking it a little bit. This next row steps up in difficulty just a little bit, and here's why. This one looks pretty simple. However, we have this 4 here. Whenever you are expanding, you have to look for numbers that aren't written in the smallest base. So that's actually log base 3 of 4. And then we have plus 3 log base 3 of x, because we had two terms and we had to use our power property. But over here, this 4 could be written as 2 squared. So if you think about it in terms of 2 squared, this actually becomes 2 log base 3 of 2 plus 3 log base 3 of x. So that's your final answer. So if you have a number that could be broken down to a smaller base, make sure you do it. Okay? So first step for this next one. We have two terms again, a 4 and a 5. So we have log base 4 of 4 minus log base 4 of 5. Now I know what you're thinking. We could change that 4 to a base of 2. However, I want you to notice even more importantly, log base 4 of 4 are inverses. That's going to cancel it out, and you're left with just the exponent. So whenever you can simplify this down to a number, you must do so. So log base 4 of 4 is 1 minus log base 4 of 5. Now that one is done. So again, you got to always make sure that you are simplifying as far as you possibly can. Last one in this row. We've got 3 terms. We have a 5, an x squared, and a y cubed. So if it helps, you can map it out by writing 3 ln's. That's only if it helps. You don't have to do that. So we have ln of the first term, which is 5, plus ln, or the natural log of x squared. And then since we're dividing, we have minus the natural log of y cubed. But now we have to take care of those exponents. So those need to go in front as a multiplication. So the final answer is natural log of 5 plus 2 times the natural log of x minus 3 times the natural log of y. All right? So that's it. So we've got 2 more examples. We've now covered simple ones, a little bit more challenging ones. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can handle these 2 on your own. Click play when you're ready. Okay, so this one, we have log base 4 of 4 squared plus log base 4 of x to the 1/2 power. So what I did is I changed 16. I didn't change it to 2 to the 4th power. The reason why is I noticed that this was easy to cancel out because we have inverses. And then, of course, we know that the square root of x is actually x to the 1/2 power. So that's just my first step. Log base 4 of 4 is going to cancel. So that's going to leave us with 2 plus, and then we just have to move the 1/2 to the front. So 1/2 log base 4 of x. So yes, when you see a square root or a cube root, you must write it as an exponent. And then, of course, move it to the front. And the last one, you should have log base 7 of 7 squared plus log base 7 of x squared minus log base 7 of 3. Now, if you have a plus here, that's okay, only if you wrap this last section in parentheses. So that would be log base 7 of y cubed. Now, if you didn't have that, the other way to write it would be minus log base 7 of 3 minus log base 7 of y cubed. Okay, so either one, you must have it. If you have a plus for this last one with no parentheses, that would be incorrect. And then, of course, you have to simplify it all the way. So we have log base 7 of 7 squared, which would be 2. Plus, we have the power property, 2 log base 7 of x. And this part, of course, is your choice, whatever you want to do. Minus log base 7 of 3 minus 3 log base 7 of y. Okay? And that would be completely expanded. That's it for this video on expanding. This is Longo and I'm out. See you, bye.